Alright, let's dive into something that's been making waves in the legal and political spheres lately: Clive Palmer's latest legal defeat in his staggering $300 billion claim against Australia. Now, if you're like me, your jaw probably dropped when you heard that number. $300 billion? That's not just a lawsuit, it's a statement. But here's the thing, this isn't just about the money. It's about power, influence, and the limits of legal leverage in politics. Personally, I think what makes this really interesting is how it reflects a broader trend of high-profile individuals using the legal system to push their agendas. Whether you love him or hate him, Palmer's move here is a masterclass in grabbing attention, even if it's not working out in his favor this time. Now, let's break this down. Palmer, an independent senator, has been no stranger to controversy. From his battles over the widow's tax to his latest foray into property debates, he's someone who clearly doesn't shy away from a fight. But this $300 billion claim? That's next level. What many people don't realize is that this isn't just a random number. It's tied to his claims that the Australian government mishandled COVID-19 policies, allegedly costing his businesses billions. If you take a step back and think about it, this raises a deeper question: how far can, or should, individuals go in challenging government decisions? And more importantly, what does it say about the balance of power between private interests and public policy? One thing that immediately stands out is the sheer audacity of the claim. $300 billion is roughly 15% of Australia's GDP. That's not a lawsuit, that's a macroeconomic event. In my opinion, this is less about Palmer genuinely expecting to win and more about sending a message. It's a power play, a way to force the government into the spotlight and keep his name in the headlines. What this really suggests is that legal systems can be weaponized, not just for justice, but for political theater. And that's a slippery slope, especially in an era where trust in institutions is already fragile. Now, let's talk about the defeat itself. This isn't Palmer's first legal setback, but it's certainly one of his most high-profile. The courts have essentially said, "Not this time, Clive." But here's where it gets fascinating: even in losing, Palmer wins in a way. Why? Because he's kept the conversation going. He's forced people to talk about his grievances, his businesses, and his political stance. From my perspective, this is a classic example of how losing a battle can still mean winning the war, at least in terms of public attention. But what does this mean for the bigger picture? Well, it's part of a larger trend of billionaires and influential figures using legal and political systems to shape narratives. Think about it. From tech moguls to media tycoons, we're seeing more and more individuals with deep pockets leveraging their resources to challenge governments and institutions. Personally, I think this raises a critical question: are our legal systems equipped to handle these kinds of mega claims? Or are they becoming playgrounds for the wealthy and powerful? A detail I find fascinating is how this ties into Palmer's broader political strategy. He's not just a businessman, he's a senator. So, every legal move he makes has a dual purpose: it's both a business tactic and a political statement. What this really suggests is that the lines between business, law, and politics are blurring more than ever. And that's something we all need to pay attention to. So, where does this leave us? Well, for one, it's a reminder that the legal system isn't just about right and wrong, it's about power, strategy, and influence. It's also a wake-up call about the role of money in shaping public discourse. In my opinion, this case is less about Palmer's $300 billion claim and more about the system that allows such claims to exist in the first place. If you ask me, that's the real story here. As we wrap up, I'll leave you with this thought: what does it say about our society when a single individual can launch a $300 billion lawsuit against an entire nation? Is it a sign of a robust legal system, or a symptom of something deeper? Personally, I think it's a bit of both. But one thing's for sure, this isn't the last we'll hear of Clive Palmer. And whether you admire his boldness or criticize his tactics, there's no denying that he's a master at keeping us all talking.